Hey friends, welcome to today's video. My name's Stephanie and today I'm back with another window shopping video for Polish Pickup. Polish Pickup, or PPU if you don't know, is a monthly pre-order marketplace. It takes place on the first weekend of every month. There's always a new theme and a ton of indie brands that come together to create beautiful polishes or other hand and nail care products to fit the theme. I originally started this last year as a wish listing kind of series, but have since changed it to window shopping this year just to kind of help curb the FOMO that comes with these like pre-order type of sites. That being said, I definitely was super tempted this month, but I will save more of my thoughts for the end. For now, let's get into the window shopping. Alright, so here is the website for Polish Pickup this month. The shop is going to be open from June 6th through the 9th, and the theme is vacation destinations. I am already so excited, so let's just tap into the nail polish and look at the first two rows. It's a shame there's not a photo for the atomic polish yet. I don't remember if I've seen any swatches of it like on social media, but I have seen like Atomic's neon collection or maybe their pastel neons, and they just look so gorgeous. So I'm sure whatever their Polish Pickup shade is, it's gonna be just as pretty. But from here, the only shade that's kind of standing out to me is the Alchemy, but not enough to like, you know, tap into it. I can live without it, but it definitely looks like a gorgeous summer shade. Same for the All Mixed Up. I think those two are probably like my top favorites from here, but we can just keep it moving. And yeah, I remember seeing some of the BCB swatches, just a stunning shimmery red. I think it's a little bit less orange than Mooncat's Pandemonium. This, at least to me, looks like a more true red. Right now, I can't think if I have something, you know, similar enough, but I feel like it's a simple enough kind of color and finish that, you know, we probably will see it again. The Beau Revs is also just so eye-catching. Again, not that I need it. I'm not gonna get it or anything. This is definitely reminding me most of Cirque's High Society, of Apocalypses. I think it's called Apocalypse Jokes, like There's No Tomorrow. Maybe even Prison Parade's Mall Brat is kind of similar. I think this maybe has a little bit of a, like almost like a bleached neon base color. It's kind of hard to tell because in some photos it just like really pops and looks, you know, like a normal neon green. Either way, super beautiful, but don't need it. And honestly, I'm not really feeling the other ones. I know I've seen a lot of people excited about this Cadillac'er, and you know, I'm excited for other people, but this one is just not really speaking to me. The Chameleon is pretty cool, being that like thermal and solar combination, because it's like 4 polishes in one. It's almost absurd, but like in a good way, I think. I definitely have seen like really pretty color I mean, this one I think is a cool color combination, but in general, I think Chameleon is like kind of known for doing these like thermals and solars, or at least like solar polishes, which definitely is so fun, especially for the summertime. But yeah, it's definitely not one that I need in my collection, so we can just move on to these next chunk here. And already there are a couple that are catching my eye. The first one is Cracked Polish's Blood Orange Sangria, mainly for the name. I do also like think it's a beautiful polish, but unfortunately I feel like this is probably closer to Mooncat's Pandemonium, which if you remember from my D-stash video going through my reds, even though I know it's a popular color and it arguably looks great on other people, I just feel like it's one of those reds that like doesn't look great on me, or at least I'm just picky about these like, you know, red orange or blood orange kind of shades. So it's a shame because it's like in my mind I love this polish, but I just already know I wouldn't love it on me. And, maybe that's silly, but at the same time, I just don't need more. In a similar vein, the Dom polish, Tankfully Yours, inspired by the tank at Flamenco Beach in Culebra, a small island off of Puerto Rico. Okay. Oh, where Mr. Dom nail polish proposed. Wait, that's so cute. Okay, I love that. This one, I was gonna say at first, it reminded me of it does remind me of a KB shimmer. I thought it was the KB Shimmer PPU shade Beach You to It, but I think this reminds me more of one of their like regular polishes, from like a collection of theirs. I forget the name. I don't know if it was like Lounging Around or like Logging Off or something. There's one that's kind of this like teal-ish color. I think this one might be more green or something. Either way, it's beautiful. I love that it's like a sentimental one, very cute, but I respectfully don't need it in my collection. The other one I really want to look at is Dreamland Lady Liberty, inspired by the Statue of Liberty. Yep, a seafoam crelly base filled with fiery orange to gold iridescent flakies. I mean, just the base color alone, stunning, right? So gorgeous. I feel like we've already seen a couple of these. I mean, even in like the chunk that we're looking at. I think the cuticula is very similar to this base color, but yeah, this is just a beautiful shade. I know I've been feeling so weird about like flakies, where for a while, especially last year, I was like, I think I kind of hate flakies. Like, they've just been pissing me off, but lately I'm kind of like, wait, okay, maybe they actually are pretty. I think this is a beautiful, beautiful color combination, because I know I love like, gold flakies and then having this seafoam base. I think this is one of those polishes that wouldn't piss me off. It's just giving magical mermaid vibes. So beautiful, but at the same time, I don't need it. I'm not sure if the base color would be more similar to Cracked Polish's Breakfast at Monique's or Cirque's Lagoon Jelly, maybe kind of like a combination of those, and then layering on like I think it's Holo Taco's Lunar Unicorn Skin is like the very golden yellow iridescent one. So I'd have to be a little creative, but I would rather do that, I think, than just buy another polish, right? So okay, yeah, the cuticula is like a little bit deeper in its color. It's pretty, but it's one of those flaky type of polishes that I personally don't love that much, at least not on me. I can appreciate it on other people. So the only other one I kind of just want to tap into is the Danglefoot, called Live Laugh Lava. Love the name. I'm pretty sure there was a painted polish that is named the same exact thing. Inspired by my dream holiday destination of Hawaii. Absolutely beautiful. The polish itself, so stunning. Love that it has like the reflective glitters. I don't love that they're green. I mean, it says gold hued green reflective, so I don't know if that's like chartreuse, but I feel like this would be so perfect for like the holiday season, having that beautiful deep red base and then that pop of green. It's absolutely gorgeous, but one that I feel totally comfortable skipping. And before we move on, I do want to mention that the cupcake polish actually reminds me of, I think it's Cirque's Cassiopeia, where it has that like plummy purple sort of base and then this really beautiful icy blue kind of magnetic shimmer. I think the cupcake also has this like red shimmer, so it's not an exact dupe, but definitely close enough. So now we can finally move on to page number 2, and oh my god. Okay, I just want to tap into the DRK nails because this macro, gorgeous. It's called Bonito, and it's a green aqua blue magnetic with sparkling blue microflakes, and it may stain the nails. That's, I guess, expected, right? This is immediately reminding me of, Island Peas Enchantment, maybe not Mooncat's Weeping Willow because that one isn't as blue, but definitely getting enchantment vibes. So, don't need it, but it's just beautiful. The Emily Damali is immediately reminding me of Mooncat's Catfished, but actually it may have like a different sort of, oh yeah, it has like these glitters and stuff. That's kind of cute. I mean, I'm not super crazy about how uniform these glitters are, where it's like this slightly larger size, where it's not, a dusting. It's like a very tiny micro glitter. I don't know. I mean, from far away, I definitely think it looks better. It just kind of has that, slightly textured sort of look. But at the same time, yeah, the more swatches that I see, the more that I don't love the glitter. I love the base. Again, just, this aqua blue base. I knew we were going to see a lot of it this month, but I can't be mad at it. It's just so freaking pretty. The Envy is pretty, but oh wow, that picture is so different. Like it almost looks brown here. That is very interesting, but I was gonna say it kind of reminds me, sort of, not really, of Island Peace Frankie. I think that one is like a deeper green base, but this looks like it has these like flakies in there, so definitely different enough. The Femme Fatale, I think this reminds me most of Sylvan Claw's Mushroom Whimsy, at least in my collection, because this looks to be like a softer kind of shade. I know other like similar ones, with this like green shimmer against a purpley eggplanty base are like the Mooncat shimmers, like Root of All Evil, which is the purple, and then Lust for Vengeance, which is like the mauvey one. But those are like so much deeper and saturated. I think this Femme Fatale is almost like the pastel version, if that makes sense. But yeah, I feel like I pretty much already have it, though I think Mushroom Whimsy is like a little bit more brown. This looks more purple, but it's close enough for me. The other shades, look pretty, but not super interesting to me. I mean, maybe the Glam Polish, lots of fun. It's giving like movie theater carpet in like the 80s, or like arcade flooring, something like that. Super fun. It's kind of like the glitter version of Mooncat's Chemical X or something, where it's just so colorful against like a really dark base. Love that kind of combination, but I don't need another version of it. And before we keep scrolling, I actually want to look at the Fancy Gloss Thermal, not because, I'm in the market for thermals, but I actually love this combination because it reminds me of Cadillacquer's Eerie, or even like the 2.0 version they came out with, I think like a few months ago, except that one had a teal base. This is like a periwinkle kind of shade. Love it. Beautiful. But yeah, love that Fancy Gloss has been popping off. People have, really discovered their thermals being an affordable price, especially for like a 15 milliliter bottle. So, just wanted to highlight them. But yeah, now we can keep moving to the next chunk. And again, we have so many beautiful shades. The top one that is standing out is the Jenin Berries. It's Lights Out and Away We Go, inspired by Formula One night racing. Okay, it's a deep neon fuchsia with intense green, aqua blue, violet shifting shimmer, and a touch of scattered microflakes. It's so pretty, but I feel like it kind of reminds me of a Cirque shade. I mean, these photos are definitely giving more of a Cirque vibe, or not vibe, like the color, being that blue toned purple. I think it's Isle of Capri that I'm thinking of, because that one's like a little bit of a deeper purple, or like a mid-tone purple. But then there's these photos that look so much more, like pinky purple, like that orchid kind of color. It's definitely giving familiar vibes, super gorgeous though. Like I love how strong the shimmer looks, the base, like the contrast. It's very pretty, but I have similar enough shades. The Great Lakes Lacquer also looks super gorgeous. That one's kind of reminding me of like a Phoenix polish, super stunning and glowy. pretty, but we don't need it. And I think the Kathleen & Co. is the other one that is like, oh, just so, I love this kind of green where it's kind of like not minty, but I don't know, what would you call this? Because it's not jade either. It's almost like a shamrock shake kind of color. Well, funny enough, they do describe it as a jade base with glowy pink to orange to green shimmer. It's super gorgeous, but it's actually pretty similar to the BCB that I picked up a couple of months ago, so you know, I can skip on it. And before we move on, I want to point out the Indie by Patti Lopez Grand Canyon. I've seen swatches of it. It looks gorgeous, but it immediately reminded me of Island Pea's Poison, just being, you know, another super fiery blood red kind of magnetic. I think the main difference is that Island Pea has these like micro flakies, and it maybe also has like a slightly deeper base color. So maybe not exact dupes, but definitely close enough. So moving on to the next two rows here. Oh my gosh, I've also seen swatches of Lurid's Oil on Canvas. Just this stunning, dark, shimmery green. I feel like it's one of those that even though it's so dark, you can still tell that it's green, you know? I don't think it's in a black base. Yeah, it's a deep green jelly base. So that's beautiful, but I mean, not that I have something close to this. I think the shade I immediately think of is Mooncat's Access Denied or Holo Taco's, what is it called? Ivy League? But those have more like black bases, you know? So it's a little bit different, but it's fine. The Lumen, oh my god, I kind of hate to say that I think this is so pretty. And I say I hate to say it because I was like just talking in, well, it probably isn't recent at this point, but in my mind, it feels not that long ago, where I was talking about cult classics that I don't have in my collection, and I brought up Bee's Knees Lacquer Lemon being this super bright, glowy yellow shimmer, which, you know, normally I would love, but then I was like, oh, maybe it's like the base color that I don't like because it's kind of like dark and dingy or whatever, and I feel like Lumen Vortex is so similar to that. I can't wait to see the side by sides. I mean, in a way, this kind of also reminds me of Island Pea's Flicker, but I think this has like a more sheer base, you know, or maybe like a lighter version of Pyro because it almost has this like blue, yeah, it's described as a pale indigo base. That is so pretty, but yeah, I'm gonna stick to Flicker and Pyro, but I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of people excited about this one because it looks gorgeous. The other favorite standout from this chunk here is, of course, the Nailed It Electric City. Obviously, I'm not gonna get it because I have a number of pinks like this. I mean, even most recently, I think Apocalypse's Hot Cordyceps Summer is probably the closest to this. Maybe this is a little bit of like a warmer toned pink, but you know, it's close enough. Super freaking cute though. But yeah, we can just move on finally to page number 3. And you already know. So we're not gonna tap into it just yet. Let's distract ourselves with the other polishes because there are so many beautiful shades here as well. I think the Night Owl lacquer is pretty, not really a close enough dupe for Mooncat's Ribbit Ribbit. Like you would think so because on paper they're both, you know, greens with a blue shimmer, but I think this Night Owl is more of like a yellowy green base. It also looks a little bit more pearlescent than the Mooncat one, but still very pretty, I think. And then the Paint It Pretty polish, Cruising, oh my gosh, just so beautiful. That one is kind of giving Mooncat's River Styx or even Lurid's Potholes Trail. The Penelope Luz, I feel like that looks familiar too, but I'm just kind of blanking on the polish. Like I don't think it's close enough to Mooncat's House of Hades because even though it does have, you know, like an indigo base with like a cobalt shimmer, it just looks more subtle or like more purple heavy, if that makes sense. But it looks super glowy and gorgeous. So now that we have those out of the way, just humor me for a few minutes, okay? I want to tap into Polish's 2 Tickets to Paradise. And oh my god, this is inspired. This is inspired by the episode from The Office when Michael and Jan go to Sandals, Jamaica. That is so funny. It's described as a neon bubblegum pink base with holographic flakes and bright aqua to green to blue shifting microflakes. So immediately this did remind me of Polish's I Want to Hold Your Ham, which was from Polish Pickup. Oh my god, was it last year? No, I think it was 2 years ago at this point. But I think this is somehow more pink. From what I remember, I Want to Hold Your Ham is a little bit more of like a peachy pink color, almost like a light corally shade, if that makes sense. So, you know, in a way, I kind of love that this is like more pink, but as I'm sure you know, I already have a lot of pinks with like a bluish green shimmer. I wonder if this is also kind of similar to Polish for Days Popular, because that is like, at least this photo, right, in lower lighting, it has that same kind of glow that reminds me of Lush and Popular, and I've had that one on my wish list, but I'm like, I don't need to get it because it's just slightly more pink than Lush. But either way, the Polish for Days finish is like more of that smoother like shimmer. This has like that micro flaky / large shimmer particle. I wonder if this also, you know, speaking of Island P, maybe this is kind of similar to Pixie Party. I think the base in that is going to be warmer though. Either way, it's so beautiful. It's such a pretty shade, so up my alley. This has my name all over it, but I regrettably will have to pass on it. It pains me so much because I know I'm gonna see swatches and I'm gonna be like, no, why didn't I get it? It's so pretty, but it's fine. I have plenty of polishes to wear to like scratch the itch. So it's beautiful. I love it, but I have to move on. So we can go into the next chunk here, and oh my god, the Psyche Minerals. Let me just like tap into this. Whispering Waves. Oh my god, it's so pretty. Oh my god, wait, you guys. Is this gonna be my first Psyche Minerals? Hold on. You know, I will say that it like immediately was reminding me of Fauve's Frailty from the Van Gogh collection. I do think this is a bit more sheer though. It's a lightly tinted lavender base with aqua, blue, violet, large particle aurora shimmer, pink reflective glitter, and blue, green, and gold iridescent flakies. I really love this one. Oh my gosh. If there was ever a Psyche Minerals that I was gonna get, I feel like it would be this one, right? I mean, I know they've made like other super beautiful reflectives, but like this is so me. Okay, I'm gonna put it on my wish list, but you know, I will double check the photos and compare it to Fauve. I feel like, again, the base in Fauve is like noticeably more of that like pinky purple color. It is glowy, it is super sparkly, but I don't know, I feel like it would be like a little bit different, right? Oh my god, no, I shouldn't get it, but I'm so tempted. It's just so freaking pretty. I'll keep it on my wish list for now, you know, just humor me, okay? And as far as the rest of the polishes, I mean, don't get me wrong, there are some beautiful shades, but they also are giving familiar vibes, like the Sassy Cats is giving Cirque's Say Chic or Mooncat's Merkitten. Swamp Gloss is maybe reminding me more of Island P's Pixie Party. Maybe this is like a little darker. I do want to tap into the Polish for Days shade, A Cruise by the Reef, because it just looks so stunning. It's described as a blue base with a yellow to green to blue to purple, super shifting iridescent shimmer, and holographic flakes inspired by turtles. I love turtles so much, and I love the shade. The base I think is like kind of giving me Mooncat's Mermaid Bait, but this has like those flakies. Actually, maybe the base is reminding me of that one KB shimmer Beat You To It, but this is like, you know, the shimmer hollow flaky version as opposed to the reflective glitter version. Oh my gosh, yeah, absolutely beautiful color. I love that so much, and the way that like it shifts and the hollow flakies, it is so pretty. I think, yeah, if I didn't have Beat You To It, I would probably be putting this one on my wish list as well. I do think the red-eyed is really gorgeous too, and there's kind of this like familiar vibe, but at least I don't think I have the polish in my collection that reminds me of this, but I feel like we've seen something like this before, but it is so stunning. Like, I especially love this photo where you see that like bright kind of cobalt blue, but then it's just packed with this like teal kind of shimmer. Oh my god, that is so pretty. I have been really loving so many polishes this month, but we can keep moving. And yeah, this is actually the final chunk here. I am not super interested in anything here. I think the one that catches my eye the most is the zombie claw called Epic Universe. But again, this is like giving familiar vibes, like especially the color combination, but it looks like, you know, this has those slightly larger flakies, which do look cool, but it's also not for me. So as always, we can finish up by checking out the hand and nail care to look at KB Shimmer's Sugar Scrub, which I remember when I first heard the scent being like sugared papaya and hibiscus, I was like, okay, great, I'm safe, because I don't really like papaya. I remember the first time that I had it, I was just like, oh my god, like ew, and it just like smells bad. So, you know, I thought I was safe, right? But then I had watched Ray's review, and she was like, you know, the fact that it's like sugared it just gives it that sweetness. It's not like super fruity. It's like a perfect balance of fruity and floral. And I think, yeah, when she read like the rest of the notes being lychee juice, coconut, lemon, and pineapple, notes of plumeria blossom, I love. Oh my god, it's just like all of these things that I love. So I'm gonna add it to my wish list. I'm gonna take a chance on it because the papaya, you know, I'm still a little nervous about it, but I'm holding out hope that, like, you know, the other scent notes are just gonna balance it out. And now we can look at my wish list, which I just have 2 things. And I'm still, I know I was like really waffling on these Psyche minerals. I feel like I'm gonna be doing that all week because I know in my mind's eye it's different from the fauve, but functionally speaking, you know, it's very similar. So I'm gonna figure it out. You know, worst case scenario, I get it, and it's just another polish that I have in my collection that's similar to a lot of other polishes I have, but it's fine because, you know, pink is like my favorite color and I love the aqua shimmer and flakies and all that kind of stuff. I feel like I'll be able to justify it and not regret it, you know? But for sure, I will be getting this sugar scrub, and, you know, fingers crossed, I also won't regret it, but I'm pretty sure it'll be fine. So that wraps up my window shopping for polish pickup this month. As always, I can't wait to hear what you think of this month's theme and the offerings. I feel like I'm just so excited for the bright and summer colors because it's just been getting hotter outside. It's like starting to feel like summer, and I love the theme in general because we haven't gone on like a proper vacation in a while. So it's nice to experience it vicariously through some pretty nail polish. As you saw, I was tapping into a lot of polishes this month. I feel like I was just so tempted because there were so many pretty shades, but at the same time, I totally recognize that a lot of them are kind of the same to polishes I already have in my collection. So it's just funny to see, you know, over time that my taste is just pretty much the same, but hopefully you still found some of the comparisons helpful. So I know that I ended up with 2 things on my wish list, but I feel like it's still a successful window shopping considering like how much I was looking at and and tempted by. I know I was really going back and forth on these Psyche minerals, and for a while I thought, you know, maybe it's better to just like remove it. But seeing it compared to the Fauve, I feel like it's just so different that like, you know, I could justify it. But then I remembered Sassy Sauce's Tink's Wings, which I feel like looks even closer to the Psyche minerals, but it's like less pink. And so now in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, maybe this can be one of those like one in, one out type of situations where, don't get me wrong, Tink's Wings, absolutely beautiful, so magical. But if I have the option to like have that, but a little bit more pink, I'm gonna want the pink one. Also, I can't wait to hear what you think about papaya as a fruit. Do you love it or hate it? And of course, let me know what made it onto your wish list this month, or if you were successful with totally window shopping. I know Polish Pickup Rewind is coming up next month, so a lot of people are like holding out for that. So far, I've only heard Kathleen & Co.'s Follow Your Dreams is coming back, which is super exciting, but I'm not sure of anything else that's back. So if you happen to know more, please feel free to share that in the comments so we can chat about it. But thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!